Hi everyone, welcome to BSCC with Stewie JP. I'm Stewie. World of Tanks, Tanks TV is live and on that website. Like we had in the video just a week or so ago, you can be a community contributor for World of Tanks if you're that way inclined. If you want to have a go, I reckon you should. I reckon it's pretty cool. The link for that will be down below, and I reckon you should apply if you're an established content creator who's looking to join the program, or even if you just reckon you might want to give content creation a go. This video, this series of videos could be for you. So like, subscribe, and get on board. This is going to be the first one. The first five pieces of software that I use every day for content creation. And we're going to kick it off with OBS, which is probably, I reckon it's the one that is used the most. It's definitely the piece of software that I use the most. And did I mention it was free? You better believe it's free. OBS Studio. This is the one, the stable piece of software that a lot of people use. More people that I know that create content use this than any other piece of software. There's different versions. Stream Elements have got a version called OBS Live, which is what I use. Streamlabs have a version. OBS Studio is the original, the OG, and the link for it will be down in the description below. It's obsproject.com. Put your pen and paper away. All the links will be down in the description, so you can check it out. Did I mention it's free? It's absolutely free. There's a version for Windows, for Mac, and also for Linux, depending on what you're into. It's pretty simple to use. This is not going to be a big definitive guide, but OBS will be the probably the most intensive part of this video. This is what it looks like. This is what the website looks like. This is what the piece of software looks like. This is what I use. Now, this is I've got two groups of scenes in mind. I do Twitch and YouTube, and if you don't know, I do Twitch and YouTube. Links down below. Like and subscribe. This is my set of scenes that I use for Twitch. And the reason I'm showing that for YouTube, I should say, the reason I'm showing the YouTube ones in this video is it's a little bit more simple. Now, you have scenes and sources in OBS. Scenes, there are different scenes. This is one scene, and I can flick to another screen, which is what you saw before, the full screen one. But there are different scenes and sources. You can see, hopefully you can see on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 6 or 7 on the left. My top one is blank. It's just a blank screen. The second one is the first lot of gameplay that you might see with the intro. The second one is more gameplay. For World of Tanks videos. The results screen, I can bring the results screen up. That's just a screen with my face on it, and the Google Chrome, which is where I would have the World of Tanks result from the game that we might be playing. Getting a little bit more complicated is over on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, it must be said, all the different things that you can see on OBS Studio. This is the OBS Live one, but they're all pretty much the same. All the different things, this is very customizable. You can move things around. Like all these things down in the bottom left is more for streaming, about showing how your frames are going, your drop frames, and how many your frames per second that you're showing on live stream. But it's also relevant to YouTube as well. The buttons on the right, start streaming, start recording, stop recording, all that kind of jazz. Your settings. There's a lot of guides out there on your settings, and it is very much an individual thing how you put your settings. It's going to depend on your internet connection. It's also going to depend on your hardware that you're using in your computer. There's going to be more hardware videos coming. My top 10 hardware stuff that I use in this series, but this one's obviously about software. On the right, you can see I've got quite a few different sources here. If you're going to be making videos or streaming World of Tanks, for example, you might not need all of these. As you get to use OBS Studio or OBS Live or whichever version you use, you'll start to play with it and have a bit of fun with it and add more sources to your scenes. So hopefully it's clear. The different scenes that you see in whether it's a live stream or a video, and the sources for each scene are different. So I've got quite a few here. The camera, if it's a camera, you can turn it on, you can turn it off, and you disappear. That's that image in there which I've put there to cover up what happens when you show your display capture, which is how I'm recording OBS as I'm using it. So if you were playing a game, it can be any game at all, one of your sources would be here, game capture, and all you do, you add the source by clicking the button down here, the plus, add game capture, which is there, and the option will come up, and we've already got the option here, and you could tell it what game to use when you go on the properties, which we'll have to get rid of that image to see the properties. The mode capture specific window, I've got it there, and it's World of Tanks. Obviously, World of Tanks is not running right now, and that's how you select it. It is relatively simple. You add your sources, and your sources could be, I mean, just on this scene alone, what you can see my face, which is my NVIDIA camera. You can see the display capture, which is OBS running, OBS Live. In the background, you can see the website there, which is that's it there, the dark blue, which is the OBS website that we were looking at just a minute ago, and the blue background, which I've got, which is actually a video file in the background of tanks just rolling around. Down on the bottom is your audio mixer part. Now, there's different ways of doing this. There's a much easier way than what I do, but when we get to the next section, which is voice meter, I'll sort of explain why I do it this way. I add different audio sources, and the 5 audio sources that I generally use are the browser, which is audio that you might hear from a browser, like a YouTube video or a website which might be playing music. Any music that comes from your web browser, whether it's Google Chrome or Internet. Do people use Internet Explorer anymore? I don't know. The one that I've labelled for comms is for communications, for Discord, Skype, TeamSpeak, any other communication device. That's how my computer picks that one up. The desktop, which for me is pretty much the gameplay, audio from World of Tanks or whatever game I'm playing. The microphone, which is the only one bouncing up and down at the moment, that's the big one. The big Rode, the Mighty Procaster. Another video on that coming in the hardware section. And this is for any music that might be playing via a music app like Spotify, or I use Pretzel Rocks. I think that's about it. Everything is customizable. You can see different tabs here. One of the tabs is for the chat. That's obviously for Twitch. With OBS Live, you can watch your stream chat within OBS. So on my second screen, I'll have OBS as a full screen. I can see what I'm putting out to the viewers. I can also see these figures down the bottom, which are more about streaming than recording. But if I'm dropping any frames, if how we're looking, there's a green light that hovers around about here when I'm streaming. If it's green, it's good. If it's red, it's bad. And on the left-hand side, there's more activity feed. People who are following, subscribing, getting on board. Stream information, which you can change. So I can change the name, the title of my stream. I can add tags, change the language if I decide to speak a different language. That'd be pretty cool. And it's all pretty handy. This one's the one I have normally up. So if somebody follows and I don't quite catch their name, then I can see who my last follower was. That's on Twitch. Now, this is what I use with OBS Live. OBS Studio, I believe, is very, very similar. Back to the scenes. You can have different scenes. You can also add multi-things. So when a scene is triggered, a video plays, which is like the video that you saw at the start of this video. It's all, but if you're just starting out, I would recommend starting really, really basic and then just have a play with it. Have a play with all the different options of sources and scenes. And when we get to the hardware section, I'll show you how I link it up with my Stream Deck to trigger scenes and trigger effects and sounds and shout-outs, raffles, all that kind of stuff in the Twitch chat. That's the first. There's 5 pieces of software that I use that are all absolutely free in this video. We will go through them all. OBS Studio was the first one. The second one is this bad boy. It's Voice Meter. Voice Meter is a free audio app that I use, and I highly recommend it. It is on the complicated side, but there are 3 different versions. Did I say 4? There's 3 different versions. There's Voice Meter, Voice Meter Banana, and Voice Meter Potato. I use Voice Meter Potato, which looks something like this, which can be a little bit overwhelming for some, which is why I recommend, if you're first starting out, just keeping the audio simple and adding it as a source. Down the bottom on OBS Studio might be the simple way to go. But if you're this way inclined, I utilize OBS Voice Meter Potato along with my PC Panel Pro, which will be explained a bit more in the hardware video. And you can see the microphone one bouncing up and down. Microphone Rode, you can name them whatever you like. Microphone Rode is going up and down. That's the browser source we were talking about before. This is the headset. If I've got a headset on, it's in red. I'm not wearing one. That's obvious. These 2 are spare. And these are my faders, which control the desktop, the communications, and the music, which we talked about before in OBS. I find it very, very handy. There's some very extensive guides out there. There's a guy called Francois Studio. I'll link his stuff down below. He does a very detailed video on how to set up Voicemeeter Potato, Banana, and Voicemeeter the basic one, which is the one that is shown on that website. That's how that one looks, which is obviously a lot simpler than the Potato one. I find it really good. Might be a bit more advanced for some people, but some people will fire it up and start it and know exactly what they're doing. It's all about your audio inputs and outputs. Inputs on the left, those larger ones, and these three faders here. Outputs are on the right, just below me, and you can see it can be going out to speakers, to ABS, to headsets, whatever you like, and you can play around with that hardware, outware, and the virtual inputs and outputs. But if you're getting into Voicemeeter, I would highly recommend Francois Studio. Watch some of his videos, or just to work out the ins and outs, because it is not a simple piece of software. If you just want simplicity, watch out for one of my hardware videos where I've just picked up the Elgato Wave XLR, and that really does a good job of keeping audio simple, and there's some guides out there as well. Moving on to the third piece of software, and it's another free one. You'd better believe it. This bad boy, VSDC. VSDC is the first piece of video editing software that I ever used. It was my old mate Wasabi recommended it to me. It's free. I think there's a pro version. I wouldn't worry about it, especially if you're just starting out. I wouldn't be paying for anything unless you're already making money off your streams or your videos, unless you really, really want it. I mean, everyone's different, I guess. But this, I find VSDC is quite simple. There'll be a bit of Googling involved, working out exactly how to use it. I'm not going to go through all the features because it is quite extensive, but if you've made a group of videos and you want to cut them together and export it to make one MP4 file or one video file, I find VSDC does it very well, and it's free. And what else was I going to say? It does it very well. It's free, and it's also relatively easy to pick it up. I picked it up relatively quickly. Having said that, most of my videos that I put out on YouTube, I don't edit at all. Maybe a little bit, might cut a little bit out here and there, which I do it on VSDC. But all the more detailed and editing that smart people do, it's a little bit beyond my capabilities. If you're into all this stuff and you want something a bit more powerful than VSDC, then check out DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve does everything that VSDC does. It's also free. There is a pro version. You can see it there. Remember, all these links will be in the video description below. It does it a lot better. DaVinci Resolve has been used to make really good quality videos out there. I'm sure VSDC might as well, but DaVinci Resolve, I'm told, is probably the best free video editor out there, and that's something else I would recommend. So I've gone through OBS, we've gone through VB Audio, Voicemeeter, I've gone through VSDC and DaVinci, which, if you want a guide to them, the guides will go for hours, and we're not making a video that goes for hours. At least not today. At least not today. Our fifth and final piece of software, which is something free, and it's probably already on your computer. It's Paint 3D. What would I use Paint 3D for? Now, there are more options to doing this, but making YouTube thumbnails. If you're watching my YouTube videos of late, you'll notice the thumbnails a lot more brighter. If they're brighter and more eye-catching, more people are going to click on your video. It's as simple as that. And this is pretty simple. I can even give you a little bit of a demo. All I need to do is move my camera so it's a little bit out of the way. I'll put my camera over there for the minute. All you need to do, brush it. If you want it, just let's say this is your YouTube thumbnail. YouTube thumbnails are pretty important. I used to disregard them. I used to have a generic picture of a tank blowing up, and I used to write over it, and it was pretty not really eye-catching. They all look the same. Now I've gone with more bright, bold, and distinctive colours. I'm definitely getting a little bit more traffic on my YouTube videos. Here's a really simple way to make a YouTube thumbnail. You go here, you go to the brushes. This is on Paint 3D. Go to brushes, click on the paint can, pick a background color. I like blue backgrounds, but you might like red backgrounds. Bang, there's your red background. All right. Am I going too quickly? Put some text on it. Make it in 3D. Make it something cool. I really, really like the font that I've been using lately called Carton 6. Go for a color that is different to the background color and is going to stand out. I wouldn't go, anything too dark, but bright yellow is something I use, and you just whack it in there, and you just put something pretty classic up there. You can turn it around, you can move it, you can make it bold, you can push it over that way. Then when you click outside of the box this is for your thumbnail, you can tilt it backwards. You can make it, do all kind of crazy things to make it make it stand out. Make it stand out. You can also add. Where do you add pictures? You add pictures somewhere. I think if you just grab a picture, drag it, and land it on there, it's pretty cool. Here we go. Menu, maybe it's menu. Here we go. Insert a picture. If I find a picture, where is it? Pictures are here. Chuck this bad boy on there. You can put the picture on there. You can make it bigger, smaller. You can swivel it around. It's pretty easy to make thumbnails using Paint 3D, which is totally free. It's probably on your computer already. Next software video, I'll go through another way of making thumbnails, which is a little bit more intricate, and you can get a few more things than just doing things like this. But putting some bold writing on there, distinctive colors, it all stands out. It'll get more people to watch your video. It's as simple as that. I hope this video has been helpful to at least one or two of you. Like I said earlier, there's going to be a few videos like this in the near future. I've already planned for 2 software videos. The first 5 pieces of software, which is today. There's 5 more pieces of software, which are also free, and then another pair of videos going over the hardware that I use. That a lot of you will already have some of it in your system, and if you're interested in being a content creator, if you're interested in becoming a World of Tanks community contributor, check out the Discord, link down below. I've set up some dedicated channels in that Discord. I'm off for all of January. I might be off all of February as well. If you've got any questions, yell out. I'm opening myself up. What do you like? What do you want to know? Let me know in the comments of this video, or get on board the Discord. Link down below. I'd like to help you become a World of Tanks community contributor. That's exactly what I'm hoping to achieve from this series of videos. And or if you've never live streamed before, if you've never made YouTube videos before and you want to give it a go, that's what we're here for. There's a lot of resources out there. Do a bit of Googling. Good luck. Once again, we're also on Twitch. We stream live on Twitch. Link down below. Like, subscribe, get on board, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and there'll be more of these content creation videos coming over the next few weeks. Not just the hardware and software stuff, but also what's it like working with wargaming? What's it like being a World of Tanks community contributor? What do you get out of it? There's cool stuff. I enjoy it, and most of my friends do as well. I think this video has gone for long enough, so thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Take care, and see you all next time.